You're entering the championship rounds. Rounda Rousey is headed to Brazil, but is that the right move for the UFC? Fight night in Rio saw the return of Demian Maia, and we saw possibly the worst stoppage in UFC history. Plus, fans are going to see a promotion versus promotion event, and we play Mr. Matchmaker. This is 5 Round MMA. Welcome all out there. This is 5 Round MMA. My name is Alex Maris, alongside my co-host Guillermo Cita, Albert Cita. Guys, how are you doing?
Really good. Really calm weekend for me, at least.
Calm weekend?
No
Vegas trips? No.
I think last week he came straight from a soccer game or something like that. This week I came straight from NASCAR.
I think he came straight from Vegas, didn't he? Don't demean the man.
I came straight from Vegas.
He has a social life.
Okay.
I came straight from Vegas last week.
Or you came straight from NASCAR?
And today I just came straight from NASCAR.
Go down
for the people that don't know, we live over here in the Inland Empire, and Fontana Speedway is just around the corner, so I went and checked them out.
400.
I saw a lot of cars turn left.
The real question is, how did Jeff Gordon do?
He almost pulled it through the last couple laps. He actually sat out, and instead of going inside the pit, he sat out, and then he put himself in position to probably win it. But because he didn't change tires, he wasn't able to really to race out with the tires he had on, and he ended up finishing. I think he was top 10 still, but he didn't get first place.
Enough NASCAR on the show. You think is there a big connection between NASCAR and MMA? I haven't really seen much because we grew up
sponsorship.
We grew up wrestling fans.
Yeah,
right?
the sponsorship.
And, remember how we always saw once in a while a wrestler would be involved in NASCAR, and then the infamous Spark Plug Holly.
I remember Greg Maynard was at the Las Vegas track one time. Cowboy Cerrone.
So
maybe it's that adrenaline you get when you're driving that car 200 miles per hour. It's the same adrenaline you get when you're punching someone in the face.
So speaking of adrenaline, UFC Fight Night in Rio this weekend kind of lacked a lot of adrenaline, especially the main event was getting criticized because Demian Maia did win, but unanimous decision. But it was a wrestling match towards the end. He out-grappled.
He actually he actually got a point deducted right when the match ended because he kept falling on his back. He did the a la Anderson Silva fight. He just dropped to his back and told the guy, "Come on, bring it."
He did defeat the previous undefeated Ryan LaFleur, which kind of takes some of steam out of his sails, I guess. But I still got to speak with Demian Maia's post-fight comments. He said that he does like his status now as a main event guy for these fight night cards. But but he doesn't want a title shot before he retires. So one question for you guys: do you kind of like Demian Maia, accepting? Okay, this is what I am. I know when they need a fight night in Brazil, they call me for a main event. Do you kind of like that? He kind of acknowledges, okay, this is where I'm at on the UFC roster.
No. You got to start for the best. Why would you accept this? I would train harder if that's what people don't want to see, is him laying on turtling up, waiting for someone to get on top of him. Try to work on other aspects of your MMA game.
Yeah.
I say why not shoot for the stars? I mean, people dream for this moment, and this guy's accepting his role.
I'm gonna tell you why he's accepting his role. He's 37 years old.
Exactly.
The guy's old. I think. I wouldn't say old. But he's old as far as an athlete. So 37, I think he sees the writing in the wall, and I think he's starting to get those big paychecks because he's been in the UFC for quite a while now, and I know that from every win, your contract goes up just a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think he accepted
it. I don't know anybody that's Demian Maia is fighting this weekend. So, in the UFC point of view, if you're talking about in terms of is this guy's making money for me, which is what Dana White cares about?
Technically, I don't think Demian Maia was supposed to be the main event. Remember this card kind of got shuffled around, and he just got turned into the main event.
Yeah,
sounds like it.
So it's not like people were asking for the Demian Maia. I think he just had to step up.
Yeah, well, this is a quote from him. He said, "The most main and co-main events I can do. That's very important to me." He said, "I know I have a few years left in my career, and I want to have great years in these fights that are left for me to have a chance to fight for the belt once again." So, I mean, he did have the title one time against Anderson Silva, which was also kind of fill-in, right? Because didn't Vito Belfort get hurt, and then just 5 rounds of him getting beat up. But I almost like the fight. You know what? If they want a main event for the fight night, I have a big enough name where I can be called upon. So.
By the way, the main event was originally Uriah Faber versus Sound Sao.
Oh, that was a good one. So, Maia is now in the welterweight division. I mean, he's been doing okay since then, but you guys see him getting a title shot down the line, maybe?
It's too stacked right now, especially people coming back from injury. Carlos Condit, for one. So I don't think I see him in the foreseeable future getting a title.
Well, with Hector Lombard in his suspension, and with Dana White saying he's unimpressed by Big Rigs, he might get an opportunity if he fights against Johnny Hendricks or maybe a top opponent. Now that Hector Lombard's gone,
I know, yeah. Well,
someone has to fight Tyron Woodley, right?
It could just Tyron Woodley. I think Matt.
But right now you just named like 5 people in front of him.
Yeah, but I'm saying they gotta get matched up with somebody.
I think too. I think the Matt
Tyron
Brown
Woodley's
ship
injured.
has kinda
Hector
too.
Lombard is in his little limbo stage right now. Carlos Condit, we still really don't know.
Yeah, I think
a time frame.
for Matt Brown, every fight he's not in that's under like a slobber knocker, I think his stock goes down a little bit because that's where he kind of the moral Matt Brown.
Yeah,
I'm gonna throw down scrap, but every time he's not in a scrap. I'm not really,
I'm not down to watch.
Yeah, exactly. So sticking with the UFC in Rio, Josh Koscheck unfortunately got choked out twice in a month by Eric Silva. He suffered I think this was not rear naked choke, was a guillotine choke.
It was a guillotine choke.
So for his post-fight press conference, he was using the terms, a lot of past tense terms. My career has been great. I've been able to do this, do that. So I think that Ryan's kind of on the wall for Josh Koscheck. So if it is, is this the last time we've seen Josh Koscheck? What mark has he left in MMA?
He's an original. People can think of
Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, Ultimate Fighter. So I mean, he had a good run. He was a good trash talker. He shot up to fame, and I think that's what we'll remember, or at least I'll remember. I these past fights, I didn't even know he was going to be in these cards.
Lost 5 in a row, by the way.
Yeah, 5 in a row straight.
Yeah, two for like 7. Something like that. Yeah.
But
what's his mark?
No, well, I do want to say that
if his career is over, but
yeah. No, but
I follow him on Instagram too.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that
a long note saying that this was the last fight on his contract. So expect some news coming up. And he had good news, so I don't know. Maybe he's gonna be a father,
or he's like, good news, guys. I'm not fighting anymore.
I think he really showed that this was his last fight. If you looked at his corner, he had one person in his corner. So that what that tells me is he was trying to keep a lot of the money he made for this last fight. If he only had one corner, man, if you really think about it. So I'm pretty sure he still wanted to go out there with a win, but it didn't happen his way. But I'm pretty sure that's the last time we're gonna see Josh Koscheck. But I will say what Guillermo said. He's an original Ultimate Fighter. There's only a few of them still fighting out there.
There's only one still.
Diego Sanchez, right? Sanchez is the only one out there. So he comes from a old generation, and I think it's kind of like a passing of the guard with him leaving and just Diego Sanchez still there.
Well, the other thing I give, or you got to take into consideration, is that Josh Koscheck fought elite fighters before this fight. You talk about losses to Tyron Woodley, losses to Jake Ellenberger, Robbie Lawler. These guys are the elite of the welterweight division. I mean, I don't think it's fair also to saying, hey, he's done, but there's these other guys that in the lower top 10 that aren't even ranked that he hasn't fought against.
Yeah. And technically, he started off good in all these fights. It didn't end well,
obviously.
But at least he started off good, though.
Yeah, I think what is Mark? He was like almost one of the original bad guys of MMA, right? I mean, it was like Tito, and then Josh Kennedy was very abrasive in the show. I mean, a lot of people kind of like Chris Lieben coming out of the Ultimate Fighter, and he was like Chris Lieben's #1 adversary.
Yeah, and then when he had Josh Koscheck,
and then picking on GSP,
and I think he's also one of the first people to introduce like a pure wrestler that that pedigree of I'm an NCAA champion, because before him I didn't really know any NCAA wrestlers. Yeah. And he was kind of the first one I kind of knew that he was a champion and that was his go-to thing. And I mean, even when he fought GSP, that's all everyone talked about was his wrestling. Well, and because with Matt Hughes, everyone knew he was a good wrestler, but people didn't really talk about his collegiate career.
Yeah. So sticking with the man who beat Josh Koscheck, your boy Eric Silva, where's his stock at now? Because to me, I see him as almost like a Demian Maia type. We have a card in Brazil. We want some names on it. We're going to put Eric Silva on there. I don't think he's going to be in future title considerations whatsoever. I think he is what he is. He's peaked, and that's it. That's my opinion of Eric Silva. Am I right or am I wrong?
I think you're right. I think Eric Silva has been known not to rise to the occasion whenever he gets those big bouts. Is when
I hope you see. Is that true, Albert? You see me? Go ahead, Guillermo. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, and that's where you see him kind of like, you put your stock in Eric Silva, and then it kind of falls all apart because he can't show up to these big fights.
Well, he actually
Hubbard's face is kind of like, just say, okay, you lay down, you drop the mic right now? So
yeah, I'm about to. But anyways, he did beat a streak previously that he had, which was win one, lose one, win one, lose one. He finally won a couple in a row. So I'm thinking his stock's not quite out yet.
Give him Matt Brown again.
If he can, no, let's give him Matt Brown. He had him hurt. I think if he can get a couple more wins, maybe his stock. We'll see his stock at his all-time high. But if one more loss, now he's going to be like. I think he's going to be in that Brazil. You know, if we're going to go Brazil, we're going to have Eric Silva there.
The Brazil only one.
Yeah.
So speaking of Brazil, I want to stay here. The UFC's bantamweight champion, the UFC's biggest star, Rounda Rousey, is heading to Brazil. She agreed to fight Beres Correia at UFC 190 on August 1st. She's gonna say, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna beat you in Brazil. And personally, I don't like it. Actually, I don't think Rounda Rousey has anything to prove.
Yeah,
the champ can fight, but the champ can fight whatever she wants. But I'm saying she has nothing to prove to anybody. I think if she wants to beat Beres Correia, she can beat her wherever she wants. But I just don't like the whole Brazil thing, just because I have a bad feeling about it. Nothing ever good happens in Brazil. Especially card wise. So your guys' reaction to this bout?
I totally agree with you, Alex. I think she has nothing to prove.
Yeah.
And I feel like she's doing her a service.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, hey, you come to my backyard.
Yeah, exactly.
And all that trash talking you're doing, beat me at my house. So.
Well, I think Ronda Rousey just trying to show how she's a company woman here. She's down to put UFC ahead of anything. She has said it before. I have all these other special stuff because of MMA, and I will never forget why all this stuff has happened. And she really wants to be the face of UFC. And when Dana White needs help, she wants to be the one to step in. And I think it's just more of that. I don't think it's necessarily the fact that it's fair or unfair. It's she's doing this for the UFC, and UFC needs someone to headline this card. And so she stepped it up.
And also the fact that she ends fights in 30 seconds. So
that can't hurt. That can't hurt.
Yeah,
either.
but does the UFC really need Ronda Rousey to be a star in Brazil? I mean, can't she not just be a star in North America and America and Canada? I mean, do they really need her? I mean, does Chris Weidman need to be a big star in Brazil? Does Cain Velasquez need to be a big star in Brazil? I mean, I think now the UFC is so big now where they have cards in Brazil where you see it's obviously stacked with Brazil fighters. They have cards in England where it's really stacked with English fighters. Ireland, the exact same thing. So why? I mean.
You're going a little bit above our heads. That's the UFC strategic marketing strategy that we're talking about, and we really don't know.
I mean, I don't like it because let's say if Beres Correia doesn't pull off upset, she becomes the biggest star in Brazil at one night, and then like Ronda Rousey kind of feels. But I don't know. I don't like it. I just think how about another card in LA or something. But I'm not a big fan.
I will say this. I do get upset that they have fights in certain countries, and they almost feel like they have to put in a fighter from that country.
Look at that when they
and I'm
Australia and New Zealand.
And I'm like, you know what? That's cool, but at the same time, I think other countries just want to see good fights.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's why we'll see how this thing pans out. But of course, I'm picking Ronda Rousey right now. So so last one, some pretty big news coming out of the world of mixed martial arts. This past Friday on Access TV. And Access TV, you can watch all these great promotions: RFA, Legacy, Maximum Fighting. I guess RFA, Resurrection Fight Alliance, and Legacy Fighting Championship are going head to head in May. Promotion versus promotion. So they announced last Friday saying, "Hey guys, we're gonna put a joint card with everything together to be live seen on Access TV." So I'm gonna get you guys' thoughts on this promotion versus promotion event.
I think it's a good idea if you think about it. At the time when Strikeforce was at its peak, and they needed these heavyweights, can you imagine Cain Velasquez versus Fedor? Promotion versus promotion. Yeah. So I mean, we're talking about really establishing who is the best in MMA, in my opinion. So.
Well, I did want to say a couple things. First of all, boxing has been doing this forever. This is how you get these crazy non-fights happen because certain promotion and they try to work together and it kind of doesn't fall through. But anyways, I think this is a direct response to what UFC's doing as far as Ultimate Fighter, where it was camp versus camp. And I think this is just a response to that, saying, we'll take it one step higher. You did camp versus camp, but guess what? We're going to do our whole league versus league. And I think I think it's a good idea, and I think it does open up more opportunities. Imagine this might lead to maybe one of them going against Bellator, and
MFC coming in here.
And the way Scott Kirker has been booking his shows, I mean, it's not it's not out of the question. Is what I'm trying to say.
The card will be headlined by they call it a flyweight super title bout because both the flyweight champion for MFC and not MFC Legacy and RFA Dominic Page and Alexander Pano will fight, and then the winner will be I guess a super fight flyweight.
It'll be the super flyweight
super
of the world
champion. So and then the rest of the card will be stacked up between an RFA guy against Legacy guy. So I'm excited for it. It'd be kind of cool. They even said that
I will definitely check it out.
Yeah, even the announcer's gonna go head to head. They said so. It'd be kind of cool.
I like it.
And whenever I see something, it kind of reminds me of like what could have been for WCW and WWE
versus WWE.
And
then we never even got it. Even when Vince bought it, we still didn't get the matchups we wanted.
Didn't get it.
Nobody still till this day we still haven't seen Bill Goldberg versus Stone Cold, and it's a travesty.
Or Big Papa Pump versus Undertaker or something.
Exactly, it's a travesty that we never saw it.
All right, so we'll take a little break. Stick around. I'm gonna play Mr. Matchmaker, guys. So it should be fun.
Please visit FiveRoundMMA.com on our social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. FiveRoundMMA.com.
We are back now. I want to play a little game called Mr. Matchmaker. If this is the first time you guys would listen to us playing this game, it's where I name off a few big name, high profile.
Before we talk about Matchmaker, I just popped a thought in my head.
Pop a thought in your head.
Pop a thought in your head.
You guys hear about Dana White backing up Anderson Silva?
No, I heard about him bashing Wanderlei Silva.
Anderson Silva.
Okay.
Also, no matter what the results say, whether he cheated or not, that he's gonna back up Anderson Silva.
Wow.
100%.
Oh.
And I saw that when I was coming over here, and I was like, and I just remembered now, right before you did Mr. Matchmaker. I just think because Anderson Silva could still make Dana White a lot of money, even if he goes to a different promotion. Of course, he's gonna get his back. What about these other guys?
To play the devil's advocate, the Yankees did accept A-Rod back.
Well, that's because
and he clearly cheated.
That's because they owed him like over like $170 million.
So they might as well get their money's worth.
Exactly. Well, I mean, like obviously, John Jones could do cocaine recreationally. He's not gonna
and he'd still be headlining 3 months later.
Chris Levin had a substance abuse problem, and that was Dana White's boy, so he actually paid for his rehab.
I think he was doing like serious drugs too. I think like heroin. You didn't hear from me though.
But then Matt Riddle speaks his mind and smokes some pot.
And
fired,
and then and get out of the promotion.
It's all subjective. I mean, Dana White's gonna do what he's gonna do because he can. So, Mr. Matchmaker.
With that said, we're playing Matchmaker.
Mr. Matchmaker. Sorry, I'm gonna name out some high
It's
profile.
the game where we do Joe Silva's job correctly.
Yeah. So I'm gonna name out a few high profile matchups in the UFC. I want to know you guys if you love it, if you hate it, and if you just don't care about this matchup. Okay. So you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. So the first one, Shogun Rua versus Antonio Rogerio Nogueira's Little Nog, has been slated for UFC 190 on August 1st. That's the Rounda Rousey card. So Shogun versus Little Nog. Guillermo, do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you not care?
I do not care whatsoever. I hate it. What does this fight?
So do you hate it or do you not care?
I both.
That's two different answers.
I don't care for it. I don't like it. What's the purpose?
It makes you angry.
No, it doesn't make me angry. But what's the purpose of this fight? Two guys are not even in contention. Obviously a feud from way in the past, but they're all both past their prime.
Yeah.
No
Shogun past his prime at 31, right?
Yep. That's what happens when you start when you're 16.
Albert, do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you not care?
I don't care. Mm-hmm. And the only reason I don't care is because Little Nog never really showed me who Little Nog was.
Yeah.
I mean, he came with a lot of hype. And it just never really lived up.
Shogun. So this is the kind of guy. Don't you guys have
but Shogun became the champion. That's what I'm saying. But that's why I don't care. I mean, maybe if Lil Nog would have been the Lil Nog I heard about, maybe I would be a little bit more excited. You know, even though Shogun's kind of past his prime. It's still
Little Nog is
I don't think.
No, but see, that's what I'm saying.
I didn't see Shogun. I wanted to see.
I just don't care. I don't. It's not that I hate it. I just don't care.
So. Two no cares and
no cares.
I hate it actually. Second one, Carlos Condit is making his return against Thiago Alves UFC Fight Night on May 30th. Albert, do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you not care? I
love it because Thiago Alves has a resurgence going on. Carlos Condit needs to get back on the horse and win big.
Yeah.
But they didn't give him too big of an opponent, I think. No pun intended. No pun intended in that one.
I don't get the pun there.
Because Thiago is short. But
a short order, maybe?
But the point is, I actually like this matchup. It's a good one.
I like it. If you think about it, it's two big names, regardless of where their record or where they're at. Had Carlos Condit come back to somebody really unknown, they're gonna say, "Well, can he compete against the top names or the top people in the division?" Now you have Thiago Alves coming off a win. He's a big name still because you think about GSP fight.
Yeah.
Carlos Condit was the interim champion, so you're big names, and then the winner can still say, "Hey, he's still in contention." So.
I hate it. I want Carlos Condit against Matt Brown or Johnny Big Rig.
You just want off the bat.
Off the bat. Give him a
title eliminator right off the bat.
This is the natural born killer, right? I mean, he was obviously...
Then give him Tyrone Woodley again.
True that. But come on, Tug Obvious. Come on.
Hey, they're both coming off injuries. Makes sense.
Yeah. So next one, Gegard Mousasi versus Costa Philippe at UFC Fight Night on May 16th. Do you guys love it, Guillermo?
I don't care.
No, is it because of Costa, not because of Gegard, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit more because of Costa than Gegard. What does Gegard have to win out of this fight? Costa Philippe to me is
Costa Philippe. I guess.
Well, to me, Costa Philippe is on the downtrend,
Yeah.
and Gegard Mousasi is on the uptrend. So to me, it really doesn't elevate him to a higher standard or to a higher level.
It could be like if Gegard, if he does beat Costa, it's like, okay, I beat another guy from another country. That's another check off his list, right? A man on every continent.
Instead of the legend killer, I'm the international killer.
For real. Yeah. Do you love it? Do you hate it?
I actually love it, and just because of the fact that we haven't seen a lot. I mean, yes, we've seen a lot of Gegard Mousasi this past year, but I think he still needs to be in the forefront because I think Gegard Mousasi has a lot of stock.
Yeah.
If he can get the right opponents and get a nice little win streak going on. So I like it because Costa Philippe, who I think it's on the way down, even though he does have exciting wins and stuff like that. But that's what I'm saying. You kind of have to.
Where did that get? To me, Mark Munoz was a bigger name, and it got him nowhere.
You can't sell Gegard Mousasi yet, and so that's why you have to
catch.
You're
sell him with the win over Costa Philippe. It doesn't make any sense to me.
He has a name. And you need wins to promote somebody.
Over Mark Munoz. Mark Munoz has a bigger name, and it got him nowhere.
So yeah, we'll see.
Gegard
said he wanted to get serious about it to get in title shots. So I think it's kind of weird that Costa Philippe would be.
Yeah, this isn't going to get him a title shot.
The first rung on the ladder, but we'll see. Next one, a big heavyweight match, a big. I hope you guys could tell the sarcasm in my voice. Matt Mitrione versus Ben Rothwell, UFC Fight Night on June 6th. I'm just by the silence, I'm telling you guys don't care.
You said something?
I don't care because Tud Duffy had called out Matt Mitrione. That's really the fight I wanted to see.
That's the fight I wanted to see.
And now Tud Duffy's asking for what's his name? Frank Mir.
I'll take that. I'll watch that fight.
I'll take that too. But I guess Tud Duffy wanted Matt Mitrione first. And then they got paired up with who was he fighting? I even forgot already.
Ben Rothwell.
Ben Rothwell.
I just said
who's coming off a huge win against Alistair Overeem.
That shows you how much. But
it's kind of funny that Ben Rothwell beat Alistair Overeem, but who's in the title contention now? Alistair Overeem, right? Yeah. So it's kind of messed up for how the UFC's view of Ben Rothwell. But Albert, do you love it? Do you have anything you can say?
I don't care. I really don't care. But hey. If this weeds out the heavyweights, more power to it. Cause I feel some of these heavyweights have to go. I'm just saying.
It's already a thin division as it is.
Just know that with Stardust's promo can be adapted to this because
I don't think our listeners know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Stardust says he wants to start trimming the fat.
Okay.
And I think UFC needs to start trimming that fat. See, you guys didn't let me go full circle.
Okay. I just want where are the young heavyweights? What just bringing a bunch of young 20 guys.
Todd Duffy.
We've actually seen a lot of amateur fights.
Yeah.
How do the heavyweights look? Exactly. They do not look like true heavyweights, and I don't see them going to the UFC. So I think it's difficult. If you're like 230 pounds, 240 pounds in shape, you know what? You should try MMA.
Yeah, but then if they're 230, they will kind of cut down to 205.
Yeah, that's true too. You gotta be like,
he's young.
I mean, just give me a bunch of 20-something heavyweight. Let them go. I
think they just need to do another Ultimate Fighter heavyweights,
and don't get
with an age limit,
and don't get a Rashad Evans heavyweight.
But do not get old NFL linebackers, please. Just get martial artists or wrestlers or something. Anyways,
under 24.
Exactly. So last one, Dan Harrison versus Tim Bosch, UFC Fight Night on June 6th.
I hate this.
I see it.
If you guys are not watching the video feed, Guillermo's face was priceless right now.
I thought he was going to say he loved it.
I know.
How? Tim Boach
you're the biggest Tim Boach fan I know.
The cringe on Guillermo's face. Are you worried for Tim Boach? Is that why?
He's always been a Tim Boach fan. Who knows? He's the comeback king. So you never know.
Against Yushin Okami.
And by the way, I'll make it short and sweet. I don't care.
No, you don't care?
I don't hate it because, Dan Harrison's a cool guy.
Yeah.
So I don't hate it.
I like that part of it.
But I don't care. I mean, come on. No offense to Tim Boach, but I mean, I never get excited when I hear Tim Boach.
No, you used to. There was a time when you
I never got excited.
There was a time when you got excited for Tim Boach. Yeah, this is one of those things where it's just like a kind of a card filler. Hendo's a big name. Tim Boach is kind of a big name, but I think they're hoping for a knockout on this one, right?
So we'll see the comeback kid.
There's no wrestling. I don't want to see any wrestling in these matches. I want to see a knockout in every one of these. All these fights better be finished because they're not very exciting. But it's kind of like I have to pick up of all the matches that were announced recently. These are like the best ones. So trust me, I had to pick up. It was slim pickings for this week's Mr. Matchmaker. So I think that is it for today's show. I want to thank all of our sponsors for making this show possible. First with Rocking Green Eco-Friendly Cleaner Products, 5 Rounds Clothing Line, and of course the RMA Foundation, Residential Martial Arts. A big thank you to all of them. Also, was it Arena Sportsnet?
Yeah,
we
Arena
can see us
Sportsnet.
now. We are on that website now.
Chicago.
Yep, we're actually on that website now.
So if you're in the East Coast,
live streaming, you guys can
or
hear
in
us.
Chicago.
Yep. Albert, what do you got?
I just want to say thanks to exec producer Guillermo Cita over here, our technician over there, Big Game. Thanks everybody for listening.
Thank you, Rocking Green.
Yeah. And also, you know what?
You just don't want us to get paid, do you?
Also, but follow us on Twitter and Instagram at FiveRoundMMA. That's FiveRoundMMA.com. FiveRoundMMA. Subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, and Podomatic.
But yeah, of course, thanks our sponsors.
Of course.
I
did that already.
But we did that already, but I'm just reassuring the sponsors that we love them all.
Yeah, I wasn't giving us any love. Our self-love.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So thanks everybody for listening.
Oh, yeah.